Top five.
So on topic, go back on another video. I'm Strange Wang. He is Nate. They're doing top 5 Mel Gibson movies in honor of Bandit. Everyone's favorite Gentile. I used that word properly.
Yeah, he's not a Jew.
Yeah.
Anti-Semitic may have been the better word. But yeah.
But he's got a movie coming out, like I said, Bandit. So we're doing top 5 in honor of his career, stuff like that. These are not movies he directed. These are movies he acted in. And before we get into that list, he's going to tell you about how are your top 5s on our social media.
If you scroll down to the description box below, pop it open, you'll find links to our social media accounts. So click on those, give us a follow. We also have links to our Coffee account and our Patreon account. So click on those if you'd like to help support our channel financially. We really appreciate it. There's also the thanks button right there on YouTube. If you're not going to do any of those things, though, subscribe because it's free. You still get to help us out. If you don't know how our top 5s work, he's going to start with his 5 and 4. I'll give my 5 and 4, 3, 2, 3, 2. We trade off number 1s. We also have something called the Zemeckis rule, which just means if we both have the same movie on our list, but one person has it 2 spots or higher, we'll save the conversation till then.
Number 5 for me is going to be Maverick. And I ain't talking no Top Gun. This is Mel Gibson. He's with 2 other people. And they play betting games with cards and gambling, and they cheat and they get monies. They got this 3-person hustle. They go on this big casino boat because there's gonna be a lot of big players on it, a lot of big tournament, and they trying to get that paper.
You've been on a casino boat.
I have. I got me some paper too. You know what I'm saying?
No, you didn't.
I kind of get a lot. I got some paper. Because you put in the little thing, you crank it one good time, and then it prints out a piece of paper. So I did get paper technically.
That's true.
And I cashed it in for monies.
Less monies than you came with.
Yeah, unfortunately. I should have said the blackjack table, dog. I was winning with 8s on the table, son. Fuck with me. But yeah, I like shysters. Mel Gibson, he plays a shyster. Sold. Number 4 for me is Dragged Across Concrete. He plays a cop. This is like a recent film, 2017-ish probably. He plays a cop. Him and his partner, they get in trouble, but they're working this case previously, and they're like, man, somebody's going to rob this place. I know it. I'm going to try and stop them, get my badge back, get back on the good side. They end up entangling with these criminals, and there's a lot of money involved, and things escalate and divide from that, like, shit, maybe we keep the money for ourselves, that's the plan now. And there were these criminals, as I said, and it's just a very good, dramatic, what's going to happen next, thriller-esque crime movie. And it's like, you're old, and you're still really good at what you do. And he's really good at what he does. I mean, obviously, you got like the right type of tone for the movie, and the director and the writer all did a fantastic job, and there's other actors and whatnot. But I saw Mel Gibson on the poster, and I was like, let me check the Rotten Tomatoes score. And that was good, and I was like, all right, bet.
Nice.
So he can still move tickets.
Good for him. Number 5 for me, I took his whole part in the franchise, went with Mad Max.
It's a Mechas.
Oh, okay. Nice. All right, number 4 for me is Braveheart. I realized as I was looking through Mel Gibson's IMDb, he doesn't have as many famous movies as I thought he did. Braveheart, really popular when it came out. I don't necessarily think that I think it's like aged super well, and not in like there's things that should be canceled in Braveheart type of way, but just in what wasn't cheesy then is kind of cheesy now type of way. So Braveheart's all right. He does pretty good in it. It's definitely the type of role that you have to like really commit to and like buy in, and he really went all in. So good for him.
Number 3 for me is going to be Get the Gringo. Got him. Because he's a gringo.
You're also a gringo.
That is true. But I'm half Italian, so I'm like half a gringo. Unless Italians are also gringos.
Italians are also.
So it's Scottish, like a Scottish
You
person.
are still white.
A Scottish person, he would also be a gringo.
white. It's white people.
Oh, so it's a slump ball and
Yeah.
a ball.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Another older Mel Gibson movie where he was just like, I want to be this badass old man, but I'm not going to put myself in scripts that I can't physically do, like Liam Neeson does, where you have to edit 47 times in 10 seconds for him to jump a fucking fence. So you get a really good story about Mel Gibson. He's in a situation and he needs to get out of it. And how does he get out of it? He's just cool as shit. And he does things and he gets out of it. In this case, he finds himself in a Mexican prison in Mexico, but it's just like weird Mexican prison where it's like crime runs the prison. Think of Casablanca as a prison. You got people, you can pay the prison and your family can live with you, and like you can have drugs, girls, anything you want. It's like a ghetto almost. Like you got little shacks you can pay to live in and stuff. And it's the craziest thing ever. You know, you got people running around, you got characters. This guy, you know, he's stealing papers. This guy, he's doing this thing. This guy, he's fucking trying to sell tacos. There's taco stands in the prison. Like, there's complete lunacy in there.
Sounds like it.
And then you get this American who ran the border because he's like, I'm not getting caught with these cops because they're dirty cops. So I'll take my chances over here. He got arrested in Mexico because he drove through the border fence thing. The wall. Bit of wood. And he finds himself in this prison. But the people he stole the money from, they're like, I still want to get you. So there's just like all these things going at once in this weird, fun world of this Mexican prison. And it's just like, you're really cool and a good actor. And like, I'm so like captivated by everything happening that even though the story's hella far-fetched, I'm with you 100% of the way. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Very good, fun movie. Next was the Zemeckis Mad Max.
Oh, okay.
I mean, it's the role that got him into mainstream cinema. It's Mad Max. You know what I'm saying? Classic character, classic lines, classic scenes, just lunacy before there was lunacy. You know what I'm saying? You got this guy fighting guys named Lord Humongous.
It's true.
Fucking, and like what I love about his character so much is like in these
fucking toe cutter.
Yeah, in these like fucking strange worlds, Max is still like a fucking down to earth kind of guy.
Yeah.
You know, like
he's got principles. He has ethics.
Like he ain't on this like crazy Walking Dead shit where like he's one of these weirdos building like camps and whatnot. He's like, this is still like Earth.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm gonna act like it, even though everything's gone to shit. And he's just trying to behold the law, but not like Judge Dredd, because Judge Dredd is the law.
Yeah, Mad Max is incredible. Like obviously as time has gone by, like these post-apocalyptic like type movies have like are almost a dime a dozen at this point. But Mad Max, like I'm not gonna say they did it first because he didn't do it first, but it is like the earliest, most recognizable one and arguably the best. Like very cool principle, like lots of life lessons to learn with it, even though like that premise is so different than where we live in, honestly, because despite being surrounded by a bunch of absolute like craziness and like just descent of humanity in general, Max is determined to maintain his and like help people who need help. So really interesting character set in a really interesting setting. Mel Gibson does a really good job with it. I think maybe the reason this is one of his better roles is because Max is not the most talkative character in the entire world. Sometimes keeping Mel Gibson from talking is a really good thing. But I really dig those movies, and they deserve to be on the list. For sure. My number 3 is Fat Man.
Oh, shit. Yeah.
I saw that we did the trailer reaction for this.
Very fun.
I had no clue what to expect from it. The trailer looked really fun, but it also had potential to be like really, really bad. And then we watched it, and it was like a hell of a fun movie. Definitely a really interesting take. Like, we've seen like movies where Santa has to like do things other than deliver presents before, like be a family man or just whatever.
Bill Goldberg, he was an evil Santa. He killed people.
Right, exactly. In Futurama, there's evil robot Santa, but yeah, we've never seen Santa have to like go full badass before that I could think of, and in this one we did. And the premise is also just crazy. Like, this spoiled kid who's on the naughty list and didn't feel like he should be hires Walton Goggins, who is this like badass hitman, to go find and kill Santa. Turns out Santa's no slouch himself. So really, really interesting like premise and concept. Even the elves in the movie are like really funny, but like did not expect it to be as much of like a fun, like dark humor type movie as it was. And Mel Gibson specifically in it is like a little more reserved. Like, his Santa is like, let my actions speak louder than my words type. He's a little jaded. Like, people are kind of giving up on Christmas. He's debating whether or not he's even going to keep doing this anymore. And what better to put him back in the Christmas spirit than having to fight for his life and put this little snotty kid in his place.
I remember when we watched that, and I don't know why this stuck with me, but you said that's the best that movie could have been.
Yeah.
And like I'm only allowing this to be an 8 out of 10, but I wasn't expecting it to be an 8 out of 10.
Yeah, for sure. Like, there was no way that movie was ever going to be like a 10 out of 10, but given what it was as perfect as it could have been.
Yeah, like, it's not never in a million years it's going to hit like a Casablanca, Vertigo level of cinema.
Yeah, but it could have just as easily been a 2.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And so I was really impressed with it, and that kind of like re-endeared me to Mel Gibson's acting a little bit. So number 2 for me is The Patriot.
He's not even American.
Mel Gibson? So, yeah, I think it kind of suffers a little bit from the same thing as Braveheart, in that when it came out, like, the style of filmmaking it was made in and stuff isn't really exactly how we make movies anymore. So watching it, it can like seem, I don't know if cheesy is the right word. Braveheart to me seems really cheesy when you watch it now. But
Never seen it.
Braveheart?
Never seen it. I own it.
Oh. Yeah, I mean, it's worth a watch.
Best picture, didn't it?
Yes, I believe so. But Patriot is really, really long. Parts of it are really boring, so you gotta sit through it. But Mel Gibson in it is really, really good to me, because he does a good job of balancing the more reserved kind of character that he can play, but then like when it's time to rally the troops or whatever, like steps it up to an appropriate volume without getting like crazy. So he does really, really well in it. And the character is based off Francis Marion, who it was a like Revolutionary War hero from our home state. So it's pretty neat, because I like history, even though it is an incredibly like loose based history. And obviously when we talk about another war, the South sucked. But when it comes to the Revolutionary War, the South often gets really undersold in terms of its contributions to that war and winning itself, because most of the time we focus on like what Washington was doing up north and all that stuff, which is also really interesting. But Francis Marion was a total badass. And so it's cool to see a movie very loosely based on that cat.
It's not even American, dude.
You act like...
That was a joke.
Yeah, you know who else is an American? Henry Cavill. And he plays the most American DC character.
Yeah, but those movies are like nematode level. Like, number 1 for me, you know it, I know it, he knows it. Mm-hmm. Martin Riggs in the Lethal Weapon franchise.
Yeah, it's mine too.
Like, the first film you get like a good, serious like performance from Mel Gibson. He's just acting with the fucking eyes, man. You know, like, he's a lunatic. He's doing Three Stooges moves on people. He's grabbing them by the nose. Doing all kinds of shit. Pulls a gun. It's a real gun. That's a real fucking badge. Fucking great lines. Great quotable action goodness from the 1980s. You get this great relationship with him and Danny Glover. To the point he softens up. You see that in the second one. he's learned to become a human again. All the pain from his wife, you know. He killed Joseph. That's not his name, is it? Fuck. Gary Busey, Lethal Weapon. His name's Joseph, is it not?
I don't know.
Fucking cocksucker. God, fuck. That's gonna bother me. I can't remember. Anyways, he killed that guy. He killed Gary Busey. He was like, alright, you know, like, you, Danny Glover, taking me into your family, making them feel like my own, you know, I'm feeling more like a human again. He still has his struggles. By the time you get to the end of the franchise, you know, he's able to love again, you know what I'm saying? So you get this really good, over time, hidden character arc from this character. It does have meaning. He's like, and then he's like, I can be a human again, you know, I can love, I can feel things, I can care for people. I'm not scared that they might get hurt, or I might get hurt through them, stuff like that, you know. So very good, but he does a lot of acting with his eyes, and I like that a lot. Yeah,
it's true. And the points that you made, I think, are my favorite things about this franchise, because it is really easy to just look at it as like surface level 80s action franchise and only focus on that. But it is more than that. But even if you only focused on the 80s action part of it, I'm not nearly as big on that stuff as he is, and this franchise is still incredibly enjoyable, even just based on like the 80s like one-liners. Clearly did not actually punch that dude in the face, like type of like filming fight scenes and everything like that. Interesting stories, really interesting characters. I love the dynamic between him and Danny Glover, and that to me sets it apart from like a lot of other ones. Like if Lethal Weapon didn't exist, I don't think Rush Hour would exist. Like,
no, definitely not.
A lot of parallels there in terms of like culture clash between like your two main guys. One is kind of goofy and a little unhinged. One's like the more straight-laced, like, you know. So it's good stuff.
Yeah, like we meet fucking Mel Gibson. He's eating dog biscuits. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, he's unhinged. Like he is
Looney Bin.
Yeah,
Looney Tunes.
He is in serious need of some help at the first Lethal Weapon.
Clips. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But the guy's name, Gary Busey, is Mr. Joshua.
Huh, there you go.
Had to put the Mr. on that bitch.
Mr.
And since we're talking about Lethal Weapon, Leo gets. What a great fucking character. Tell us down below in the comment section, do you still hate him because he's a Jew hater? Because if so, that's fair. That's totally fair. Here at Cinematopical, we separate the person from the art, and you should separate your hand and put it on the screen to click that subscribe button and the like button and the share button to get our content out to the world. I know. That's a reach. It sounded better in my head. Like, comment, subscribe.